Hey everyone, welcome back to the Track Limits podcast. We are super excited to debrief on the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. How's everyone doing?
Good. Can't wait.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Was it a more entertaining race than Bahrain or less?
I think it was a much more entertaining week leading to the actual weekend. So
What happened in the week?
Helmut potentially suspended, but until we found out, I guess.
Like there's so much controversy. That There's actually more drama happening off track than there is
on track.
On track,
correct.
Outside of Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda at the end last race, but
they made love. It's okay.
Oh yeah,
did they
wait, they made love.
Yuki came out and said as well. He was like, he apologized.
Sorry?
Yeah.
They went on a date.
They went on a very special date. They're best friends again.
They hugged it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the race was also a lot more jam-packed because there were a couple other races outside of the F1 series, so that was a lot more racing for me to watch. Had to sneak it in between work meetings and everything, so that was entertaining. I don't know. And the actual race was also okay.
Yeah, Henny, you'd agree?
Yeah, it was okay. Another 1-2. Let's go. Oh, you see, I'm wearing the hat backwards. I can't. People don't even know what I'm wearing. It's okay.
You know we're going to listen
Right
to
there.
this
Right there. Right there,
22
baby.
weekends.
I'm actually terrified. We were talking about it. I'm terrified that Max has a chance to win all 24 races. I think he might do it.
I think Checo might squeeze in a win.
Not a chance.
I think.
Well, okay, unless there's a reliability that comes into the issues.
No. Huh?
But even outside of reliability issues, he still walked away with 8 seconds. I think he was having a game with himself because every 2 laps he was like, fastest lap. He was on the hard tire and he was setting fastest laps.
Checo did set the same pace as Max did. So he has opportunity. If he starts in P2, he needs to start behind Max.
Yeah.
If there's any chance.
Yeah.
You can't start behind someone because, look, he already got 7-second gap by the time he passed Charles on the restart or whatever it is. Or no, in the restart, he had to pass 2 people. He had check, I think, who was it? Lewis and Norris. He had to go through.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So it wasn't even a battle to start with. But we need to see it, and I think it will happen.
But it wasn't I did actually enjoy the race because it was for the first time. The TV was it was away from the top, the start, the mid pack, and it was the back of the pack. There was a 6-race battle DRS train. It was actually quite exciting to watch. Albon was making some good moves. Yuki was hanging in there. Danny had a bad. He had an unlucky spin, let's say. But then to see Ollie Bearman do so well as well, that was really exciting to watch.
Bearman.
Bearman.
Bearman. I'm going to say Bearman now, though.
That's the Toronto man's coming out.
Oh my God! Stop.
Ollie Bearman.
No, that was his. This was actually insanity.
Yeah.
That was. But what do we? Okay, so I was saying before we started, I wanted to talk about the butterfly effect. Obviously, you know about the Albon appendicitis butterfly effect.
Right, and what it led to.
Okay, so what did it lead to?
Nicholas Latifi crashing.
No, so
that's the meme.
Well,
of
yeah,
the
of course.
Effect.
Albon had his appendicitis, which led to
Nick DeVries
coming in, and then Liam Lawson, kind of taking in or stepping in when Danny Ricks hurt his hand.
Yep.
Because obviously Nick DeVries choked.
Yep.
Danny Ricks replaced.
Yep.
And then what happened from Liam Lawson?
He got it. Well, he didn't actually get a seat,
but he scored
points.
Similar to Ollie.
Yes. But I think it's a different circumstance.
Yes.
Because he's not part of that Red Bull family, and there is a seat at Haas probably open for next year.
1,000%. But obviously, so what do we think this appendicitis will lead to? Because that butterfly effect of Albon led to Lewis moving to Ferrari, obviously.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a long.
That's a long butterfly.
You're pulling on the longest string.
That is actually what the butterfly effect.
What? Lewis to Ferrari? How does that match with anything with
20 minutes later?
I feel like we're
I actually took notes.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Okay. So obviously Nick DeVries, I just said the Danny Ricks bit, right? And then what happened? So when Liam Lawson came in, what happened? Now I've lost my train of thought.
Nothing. He just raced for like 5,
you
6
guys
races.
He kind of proved himself, though. Liam Lawson proved himself.
read the article.
But like, it had nothing to do with Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari. That's just
It has
pulling on the longest string in the world.
everything
To be
to
fair,
do
I will
with
say
it.
one thing going back to Ollie, the fact that he found out, an hour or two before the session began yesterday,
Yeah.
he jumped in, did a decent performance in qualifying, almost knocked out Lewis,
Insane.
which is pretty incredible.
Wow.
And then today in the race, I mean, the composure that
yeah.
he had, especially in those final laps where you have Norris and Hamilton coming up really fast behind you, unbelievable.
Yeah. Apparently, there was, I don't know if the commentator was saying it, but he was matching the pace of Alonso and
George
George
Russell.
Russell.
That's
in front.
insane.
Yeah,
That's
I think it was
incredible.
like 400ths of a second away or off.
That's incredible.
And even if you think back, I think it was 2-3 years ago. Remember Lando in Austria? And Lewis was coming up behind him, and Lando was like on the radio, like he was kind of panicking. He was hitting the clutch every time he was gear shift, and he thought it was an engine failure.
Yeah.
And then, no, but like you can see he was so passionate.
Yeah.
And then you compare Ollie today, he was so calm, cool, and collected. Like, and he was even asking, like, "Hey, what lap will he catch me? Will he catch me?" All of a sudden, he pushed again and pushed again on used hards. So his level of composure, his awareness, and even his straight out like ballsiness.
Yeah.
He was going for it.
first lap was
turn one, turn
dangerous.
two.
Oh,
Not many
man.
people would do that. They'd be like, "Hey, this is like my first time in the car. Let's not wreck the thing."
Yeah.
He's like straight in there.
His dad.
Oh
He
man.
was holding his breath the entire time. That was-
It was crazy, but it was awesome to see from someone again who, in F2 hasn't actually scored a point yet this year.
Yeah.
Actually,
but in F1 now has more.
He has scored 6 points in this race, which was half of what Haas scored all of last year.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Sign him up.
He's still in the Ferrari. Let's not.
Obviously,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm comparing Haas with him because he's a
Potential driver.
Yeah, potential driver, and he's obviously being shopped around. I'm sure for other.
After today, though, I don't think he should go there. I think K-Mag is the greatest driver.
Oh man.
Let's talk about the penalties.
That is the new. I don't know. Okay, which steward did he fight with before the race started?
Even
He's
Feven said a good one
something.
today. She's like, he's the new Ocon. Penalty after penalty after
I
penalty.
was like, wait, is that Ocon? He's like, no, okay, man.
I don't think we've ever, and I think Sam Collins broke it down very well. 10 seconds for driving off the track, coming back on. Typically, never given a 10-second penalty.
No.
Given 5.
What happened? I don't
There's
understand.
there's no advantage gained either.
Literally.
No.
So even if there was, give the position back. If not, that's 5 seconds. So the 10 is, they just made that up in the spot. That's
And then
outrageous.
bumping Albon a little bit. I mean, even Albon after said he thought it was a racing incident.
Did he?
He said, fair enough, we got a
Yeah.
penalty, but he was like, I just saw it as a racing
Yeah.
incident.
He
It was
just
fine.
didn't like Magnussen probably didn't think he was going to squeeze in on that side. He's like, I'm about to take the racing line back because it's a high speed corner, right? So he just didn't check his mirrors.
I did see that, and I was like, God damn it, Magnussen, give it a little bit of room. Because going, that was like in the main straight. Albon left him a lot of room in the first
way.
corner.
Yeah.
And then, I think it was quite lucky Albon didn't get wing damage. Or maybe he did. I'm not too sure. But he never pitted afterwards.
No, he didn't.
But that was still very aggressive from Stewart's 10 seconds. Even the commentators were like, what the hell?
Well, speaking of penalties, the fact that Norris had a jump start, a false start,
Yeah.
which was very I guess obvious when you're seeing it from, I don't remember whose car.
It was George Russell's helmet cam. It was very obvious.
And so they didn't penalize him for that. And then you see, obviously, Alonso and Checo, and they penalized Checo for unsafe release. And then we're like, how are you
so
allocating
erratic.
these penalties? And I obviously have not read the rule book.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my next
First comment, read the
spring-
rule book.
Whatever. We're still learning and living. It's fine.
FIA is going through their own scandals right now, and they're like,
Oh, God.
let's
Yeah.
just be strict. Let's just throw everyone off book. Let's just start handing out penalties so
Literally.
they forget about the investigation that's currently
But do you think
happening.
it's random? Or are
Definitely
they
not.
trying to stoke the fire?
I don't think they are.
No. Like the only one I
Because why
see.
K-Mag? I
don't
don't
know.
understand. That was
That
crazy.
seemed really weird. But to be fair, and this is my problem with F1 since even 2021. It's like some of the rules are very much gray. And sometimes there's way too much power given to the stewards versus reading the rule book and actually sticking to it or looking at precedent and being like, how did we adjudicate that situation 3 years ago? Well, okay, maybe we should go in line, right? Like for the jump start, look at Vettel in 2019. Was it similar? No. it was different.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I just don't understand how with Norris, the jump start, it's so obvious. Like we were even talking about in the F1 game, the minute you do that, you're getting a drive-through penalty. It doesn't matter if you're in your box or whatever.
I think sometimes it comes down to like, was there an advantage given?
Right.
And I think sometimes then there's user discretion of like going, Lando jumped initially, but braked.
Brakes,
Right
stopped.
away.
So then what was in question was he started outside of his grid box. But again, that should be clear cut. If you start outside your grid box, it's a penalty, and it's a set penalty. It's 5 seconds or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Magnussen going off and back on the track. That could have been a warning, a black flag.
We've seen that so many times.
Oh,
yeah.
From other drivers.
Yeah, that was crazy. Him and Albon, sure. To me, okay, maybe
that's
it's
a
not a race, it's a penalty. But where are you getting 10 seconds?
no.
It's always been 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even back to
it's
the
crazy.
Lando one, I think we were in lap 10. And even you could hear his engineers being like, yeah, we don't know what's going like, because if he did get this penalty,
Yep.
I believe he could have served it in the pits.
Yeah.
But he didn't know.
But he
They
didn't
don't
know.
know.
So then you use the tire compound you're on, which again is kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little bit like, what the hell's going on?
At least we now know, though, that Haas figured out a way to score points. Let one of the drivers just get a crap ton of penalties and then hold the entire pack back, and the other driver will score a point.
You know, RB is gonna protest that. They said.
Really?
Yeah, they are.
I mean, it's honestly rightfully so.
They're like unsportsmanlike racing. I was like, have you seen Alonso?
Sorry, explain. What do you mean?
Apparently, it's like he was holding the grid back purposely, so they're gonna find like data to be like, we're gonna fully protest this.
I mean, what
You
if his
can't.
car was just simply not fast enough?
Well, that's where the data will talk because they
No,
are fast enough.
they'll look at him like
Yeah,
lifting.
Obviously,
throttling
yeah.
off.
But then he can be like, I'm saving my fuel. I'm saving my
Exactly.
tires.
Yeah, but also that's being like that's strategy.
Yeah.
That's team. That's why even though this is an individual, race, it's a team sport, right? There's a whole team behind, but there's 2 race car drivers, so it makes. I mean, I don't. Unless there are rules in the regulation that state
Gray
the
area,
opposite,
FIA.
I don't know. I just think this is actually smart, and it's not probably not the first time this has happened.
No.
I mean, teams always help each other with towing and like really slowing down. Like think about the Ferrari last season when Sainz and Charles Leclerc were kind of trying to find like having a
Singapore,
proper
I think you're referring
delta.
to.
Yeah. Oh, Singapore. Coming back to my butterfly effect.
Oh, God.
This is what has happened. Sorry. And this is actually a widely speculated phenomenon that has like taken, the social media world by, on fire. It set it on fire. Okay. So when Liam Lawson came in and he actually knocked out Max in Singapore Grand Prix,
Okay.
it's said, people speculating that, Lewis got to see like the potential in the team and therefore sparked his decision to making a move to Ferrari. Swear, this
Like
is
I
not
said,
me. This is
pulling the string.
This is not me.
I don't want to talk
This is
about
not
this.
me,
I don't want to
but
talk
this
about
is
this.
the
I support you, girl. I support you.
What?
Thank you.
What do you guys think? I'm
Yeah.
curious. Do you believe
not
in the
just me.
butterfly effect
1,000. I mean, it's a butterfly effect is not just.
in F1? The
For
way
this
Feven
situation, yeah,
specifically
yeah.
talking about it.
But you know what the cool thing is? It's like we see with Ollie coming in, you see with Liam Lawson coming in. It's like there's so many talented drivers, and it's such a pity there's not a showcase.
Yeah.
Because like I even think now like you see Magnussen left the sport, came back. Hulkenberg left the sport, came back. Alonso, like he's still in it, and then you've all these young drivers waiting for their chance. A lot of them, their shelf life is kind of
Drogovic, Tara Porcher.
Yeah, and then it's such a pity the FIA knocked out Andretti from trying to enter the sport. It's like I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah.
Well, speaking about just like wider access into F1, I wanted to talk about the F1 Academy.
Yes.
guys watch
Oh
the
yeah.
2 races?
It was very exciting. Can we talk, however, about what a messy second race that
Before
was?
we get there, do you know how iconic this was, though? The
Yeah.
fact that in like
Saudi Arabia,
4
too.
or 5 years ago, or maybe I don't know how many years, because COVID has really messed up with my head in terms of time, women couldn't drive
Yeah.
in Saudi Arabia. Like
Yep.
they could not. They had no legal rights to drive, and now we have women racing.
Yep.
And it was the first race of this series. It was and on International Women's Day.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Which is incredible.
Maybe planned.
Yeah.
The stars aligned.
The stars did align, but I set aside some time to tune in, and I'm so glad also that it's just so accessible. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it for free or I think it's mostly for free on most channels that are readily available to like most basic cables for across the world.
Yep.
And it's YouTube live, so if you don't have cable, you can watch it on YouTube. It's great.
Good internet.
And Dorian Pin obviously did incredible, and we saw Dorian in Portugal last year.
She's a beast.
She's a beast.
Yeah.
She was a part of Daniil Kvyat's endurance racing team, Prema.
Yeah, he talked about her when we met him in last year.
And he was blown away by her.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that she could be one of those people that gets into F2 and actually does incredibly well.
And hopefully in F1.
And hopefully in F1 down the road. But
Let's
obviously,
go.
I think the next step for her would definitely be F3, F2, get in there. And, you also have other people like Abby, and Maya.
Yeah.
Maya was in Italian F4 before, which is pretty incredible. So there's a lot of talented drivers right now in F1 Academy.
Yeah.
But we might be seeing the max effect in F1 Academy too.
To be fair, she's currently P3 in the standings.
Who?
Dorian.
Yeah.
Well,
but
because
I think we need to recognize why.
I know.
The victory lap.
People are like, what if they have a title fight? I'm like, y'all
I think
Dorian
Dorian
watching this race? Yeah.
It's just so crazy because obviously I don't know if anyone watched, but at the end, Dorian had won, but it was stripped because she ran an extra lap after the black checker flag was out, which is very unfortunate miscommunication. And it was pretty chaotic second race.
Yeah.
There was 3 yellow flags, maybe 4? 3?
No, I think three.
3.
Yeah.
And they were all very much 3 laps in or very early in the middle, as soon as they got going, and then again just before the end. So it was very stop and go kind of race, very chaotic, and I'm sure she was just incredibly focused on the race. But oh my god, it was a very not cringe, but I was just like, oh, stop. Checkered flag, what is she doing? And everybody
You live and learn.
of course.
You gotta
And
make
I
these
just feel
mistakes.
bad that she lost her
Oh, yeah.
podium.
Yep. But hey, they actually followed the rules on that one.
They did.
Well done, FIA.
I know. We were having a chat about this on the way. He's like, is it harsh? Is that too harsh? I'm like, rules are rules, unfortunately.
Yep.
And if we want to exist in a
Yep.
Yeah, no,
in this
100%.
space,
A fair race.
Yep.
a fair race,
yeah.
go on Abby pulling.
Oh, yeah.
But justice for Leah.
Going back very quickly to F1, I want to talk about 2 other teams. I want to talk about Alpine. So obviously a very tough start to the season.
Yeah.
Gasly had to box first lap, likely gearbox
That was a
issue.
gearbox issue.
I don't even think he could complete the formation.
No, he completed.
I
He
know,
started
but
the
he
race.
was-
He couldn't get past gear 6.
So he couldn't shift, was
Yeah,
that?
he could
Yeah.
shift up past gear 6.
And then Ocon actually had a good race. In a car
For a
that
car,
is
yeah.
so
Yeah.
uncompetitive.
Where
he
did
was
he
up
finish?
to 13th, 12th at one
nice.
point. I don't know where
well,
he is
was
now.
in that DRS
He
battle.
was fighting,
Yeah.
but all it took was one of them to crash out because they were in such a bad fight that
Yeah.
you could easily get a couple of positions as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, even when K-Mag was fighting Yuki, that was such a
yeah.
fun fight to
yeah.
watch. When K-Mag came back,
Yeah.
Ocon took advantage of that to get past Yuki as well.
Dude,
So
those
he was
two
there.
have history. Those two, man. Just can't have them side by side.
No, but it's good though. It's good.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting to watch.
But yeah, those moments were probably kind of, in my opinion, the best moments of the race.
Yeah, they were televised
Right.
the most. It was a good fighting.
Yeah.
It was good battles.
Yeah.
The front of the pack were kind of running away with it.
Yeah, Albon actually did say during the post interview, he said that we actually kind of switched cars with Haas.
Yeah.
They're like, Haas, like you said last week, have a crazy top
end.
line
Yeah.
speed. They've somehow fixed their tire degradation. I know this track is not a good representation because there wasn't high deg, but I think we'll find out again in Australia when we go in 2 weeks that they might actually have a strong car again, Haas.
Yeah, because Haas are doing well, and Hulkenberg especially. He's out qualifying Magnussen by a fair margin.
Yeah.
But race pace is good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
the
thing.
race pace is
Yeah.
good. That's why even for your predictions, you all put Alonso top 3. But
They had high drive.
Okay,
but
tell
that
us-
Aston Martin is like the Mercedes of last year.
Yeah.
We're on low fuel load
thing
and
is a
sticky
rocket.
tires. It's a rocket ship.
Yeah.
Heavy fuel load. It's a completely different car.
For sure.
And even as well as another comparison would be the McLaren today with Piastri behind Lewis. With the DRS, it was making no effect. So the Mercedes, as much as it's not good in the cornering.
Yeah.
It's got some top end speed. Now maybe they made those adjustments for that weekend, but it's going to be exciting to see how it goes throughout. But Australia, it's a great track. I'm very excited for Australia.
But honestly, it was also ridiculous seeing, who was it? Lando Norris and Lewis battled that last 5 laps.
Yeah.
And it was just like Lewis would catch up to him on the straight. And then that first sector, gone. Like
Gone.
6
Rocket shot.
You can literally see it from camera to camera angle. It's like you will see Lewis Lando zip by, and then you will have to wait. And then you see Lewis zip by.
Lewis even commented to his team, he's like, damn, they're fast.
He said he's impressive.
Because I mean, I would feel demotivated if I was catching up, getting 0.3 away, and then after sector 1, you're like, where'd he go? Like he was right here.
That was crazy.
Australia is next. Very fun track. What do we think? Anything gonna change? Is Checo potentially gonna take the battle to Max in Australia?
No.
There's nothing that we've seen so far would lead us to think that way.
Yeah.
If he finishes in P2, like I said earlier, in qualifying,
Could be exciting.
I think that would be an exciting fight.
Checo needs redemption from last year. Remember, he couldn't even put down a practice lap? No, but seriously, he spun practice 1, practice 2, practice 3, and in qualifying, did he crash in qualifying?
No.
He
He started in the back of the grid. I don't know
he
for
did
what.
something in qualifying.
Yeah. He got kicked out in Q3. He crashed.
Yes, he did.
And there were 2 safety cars last year, especially the
chaotic.
final one. Chaos happened, especially for the Alpines at the end.
Oh, yeah.
So
and
it should
Albon
be
went
exciting.
off as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it'll be an exciting race.
Yeah.
I hope. I mean, we want some excitement on the track this time.
Because it's 2-week break, Sainz will be back, right?
I
Because he'll be recovered from surgery?
Yeah.
Even though he was,
Okay, first of all, I've had friends that have had an appendicitis and they're out of commission for like
bedridden.
Need a walker 3 days post-op and walking around. The fact that man strolled in,
Oh God, strolled in injured.
Well, if you see the video, he's really.
he was
walked
gingerly
slowly.
walking. That man was sore.
But I mean, what an athlete.
Yeah.
Trooper.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, will he be back? Because
I don't know.
that's a lot to put on the toll.
And if he isn't, Ollie Bearman round 2.
Yeah.
You better believe he's got to be there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He
After
wins.
today's performance,
Yeah.
they're
You
going to have him back.
reckon Stroll was very disappointed with himself? He was the only real DNF that hit anything. Like, he hit the wall.
Yeah.
I love the way
Alonso hit the wall too, actually.
He
But
did.
he didn't
He
DNF,
brushed
but he
it.
did touch the wall.
Yeah.
Little mwah.
Just a little kiss.
Yeah.
It's that Aston
beso.
Martin, you know.
I love the Aston Martin was his team engineer. Someone was like, can you bring the car back? And it's about half a meter into the wall.
Yeah. For Stroll. Yeah.
Yeah, Stroll.
Yeah. I don't know about the that team altogether.
No, if they fix that the heavy fuel
Yeah.
load,
Drag out.
they're
'Cause
fast.
They're so fast. But
Yeah.
I think it just ever since halfway through last year, I just feel like it's been consistently.
But we don't know.
rolling.
They could be the McLaren of last year.
That's true.
And they could be working in these upgrades.
Yeah.
Give it 2-3 races, we could be shot.
I actually was saying to Michael, I think the RB team, it might have a similar comeback to as McLaren did last year. I think they're probably going to figure it out and have some upgrades halfway through or 3/4 way through that I think will maybe bring them back in a fighting chance.
But it is good to know that going in Australia, we have the pecking order now. I mean, obviously Red Bull's up here, but then Ferrari is definitely, I think, in its own class as well. But then you have, the McLaren, the Mercedes, the Aston Martin that likely are going to be track specific now in terms of which ones they do well at.
Correct, yeah.
But it's also kind of demotivating when you think now that the top 10 could literally just be those 5 teams.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Right?
And we were just joking about it earlier, like, it's Red Bull's season. It's as long as Ferrari's strategy kind of get their game together, they're taking P2 in the constructors.
Which is why I think last week's or the last race's battle with RB switching position matters because of the tiebreaker.
Correct.
Well, yeah,
When
I
you
saw
look
that
at
on
back
social
now.
media after.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because
In
if the top
retrospect.
5 teams end up getting all the points and you all end with 0,
Zero, which
literally
they
your
could have.
positioning will matter then.
Speaking of the RB team, I know it's early in the season, but Danny Ricciardo versus Yuki.
That's early on.
I know it's early on, but like,
Ricciardo had a car issue after qualifying also.
did he?
Yeah. That limited him.
It's just
on the
weird.
race.
Like, I have such high regard for Danny, and we give him a lot of grace. The Renault, he did well. He got points. He got a podium. But it wasn't his car. McLaren, I just feel he never
Found
found
a win, but not his car either.
Yeah, but he did. He didn't have that confidence, and now he's in the RB. And I know you have to give him time.
Yeah.
But there's an inkling there being like, oh,
When are you going to show up?
overrated?
yeah.
Was he? Oh, yeah, I said that we were talking about it. We're like, is he the most overrated driver right now?
I'm not going to, those words aren't going to come out of my mouth.
I just question. These are thoughts, intrusive maybe, but they do come up because you're like, I haven't seen anything special.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But it's his
22
own race.
more races to go.
Yeah, we got a lot of races to go.
Like-
But you know what I mean? First impressions right now, Yuki's out qualifying him.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's have better race pace than him. So yeah, it's
Still
definitely
not
one to
ending
keep
up
an
in
eye
the
on.
points though.
100%.
What's that?
Still not ending up in the points though.
Hey lad, it's early days.
It's tough. I find Yuki gets into Q3, he does a great job, and then the race comes around, and oh my god!
Yeah.
Especially today, I think he got eaten alive by like 5 or 6 drivers.
He
Yeah,
did.
and
he
it
was
was very
sandwiched
sad. It
up
was like
the
a
whole
highlight
race.
reel.
Yeah,
Like,
kinda was.
overtaking Yuki the whole race.
Hey, the sponsors love it.
Oh, yeah.
You got
Hey,
all
yeah.
the attention.
Limelight.
Visa's like, yeah.
Well, that-
We still don't have Cash App
Cash App.
here.
No,
Yeah, I don't think it's a universal thing. So
No,
Not yet.
Just American.
we have in-track e-transfer.
woo, yay Canada!
That is a wrap. I want to give a special shout out, by the way, to a very special group of people. I see you, Mercedes pit crew, under 3-second pit stops. I love it.
I was like, where are you going?
2.5 today, people. Blown away. Actually blown away.
Starting to hit their goals.
Standard is 1.8. but-
Wait a second. Who's the lowest right now?
Oh.
The fastest pit stop.
Steak.
Lies.
Did you see what they did today?
Your boy.
Last week was Bottas.
50
This
yeah.
week
Joe.
it is Joe.
Okay,
was
so
it?
but
What
they
was
have
it?
a nut.
A nut issue.
Their
nut-
rear right.
Yeah.
They put the car, like the guy actually tossed the wheel, and then the nut came out.
Yes.
And they had to go run and get another nut, and it was like a 40-second
I
pit
was
stop.
like, they're having a nut issue, and you're like,
Dirty mind.
No, I thought you said they had the fastest. I'm asking who is the
No,
fastest
he's being
currently.
sarcastic.
Oh no!
Who's the
I think
fastest?
it's either Ferrari or Red Bull.
yeah.
Right, Red Bull?
Yeah,
Ferrari.
so far.
okay.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, but McLaren holds the
The
record.
record.
But 22 more races to go. Hope you guys enjoyed this reflection episode. Do you believe in the butterfly effect?
You better.
Specifically for that situation, we want to know in the comments below, and we'll see you guys.
And where do you think this Ollie Bearman butterfly effect will take us?
I have no idea, but we will find out soon. See you guys in the next
Yeah.
episode. Peace.